It's time for the Game Week 1 Premier League predictions. Now, I'm going to be doing one of these every week, talking about the matchups we've got coming up and what I think the results will be. It's been something I've been interested in dipping into, and now the season's about to begin. I think it's the perfect time to get this video out. So we'll start off on the Friday night match, and we have Crystal Palace hosting Arsenal at Selhurst Park. Now, this will be a good opening match, I think, to kick off the Premier League season. A really resurgent Arsenal in the window versus a Crystal Palace, which is already a solid side, and they've done a few good signings too. But as I said, Arsenal have done brilliant business this transfer window, bringing the likes of Jesus, Vieira, Zinchenko, a lot of good players who I think will really bolster the Arsenal side. I can see goals being scored this game, but they are going to Selhurst Park, which is a very tough place to go away, especially first game of the season. I reckon there will be goals, both teams, but I think it'll end in a draw. I'm going 2-2. Some great action to kick off the season. And then we move on to Saturday, where the bulk of the games are being played. And we're going to start off with Fulham versus Liverpool. The champs of the Championship versus runners-up of the Premier League and Champions League. It's going to be an exciting match. I think everyone is probably expecting that Liverpool are going to wipe the floor with Fulham, as Fulham are normally seen as a low Prem team, normally getting relegated after one season in the Premier League at the moment. As its first game of the season, I think this is the closest the two teams will come to being evenly matched. You know, it's the start of the season, everyone's still maybe got a little bit of rust on them. I suspect it won't be a massive goal fest. There's not going to be like 6 goals. I reckon it's going to be an easy 3-0 win for Liverpool. I can't see Fulham scoring against Liverpool. You know, we might see a Nunez goal if we're lucky. And then we move over to the Vitality Stadium with AFC Bournemouth hosting Aston Villa. Now, Villa, if we look at both the squads on paper, Villa has a higher quality squad. And Bournemouth have not done much business in this window, which I also mentioned in my Premier League predictions video if you want to go check that out after this one. I think Villa will want to win this against a newly promoted side to really kick off their season on the right foot under Gerrard. I do see both sides having goal scorers in their squads, so I don't think it'll be a goalless draw. There will definitely be goals, so no clean sheet for either side here, but I'm going 2-1 Villa. And now the big one for me personally, the one I'm mostly looking forward to as a Forest fan, it's Newcastle United versus Nottingham Forest. Newcastle United hosting the new boys to the Premier League at St James's Park. Both clubs have a very positive feeling around them at the moment, with Eddie Howe building a very good-looking Newcastle squad and going for James Maddison is the latest we've heard. And Forest have brought in 12 new signings and kept a really positive energy since winning promotion at Huddersfield Town and Wembley. So it's going to be a good game for both sides here. St James's Park is not an easy place to go for any Premier League side, let alone the newly promoted boys. But Forest do have a point to prove after being absent from the Premier League for so long. So I'm going with a shock 1-0 to Forest. I think it might be a bit of a cagey affair. Not many attempts on goals until the dying minutes of the game when Forest score a last grasp winner through Sam Surridge. Could happen. 1-0 Forest. There might be a bit of bias there. And then we've got Tottenham Hotspur versus Southampton. Spurs have done crazy business in the window and come off the back of a very intense pre-season under Conte. I mean, you've probably seen the clips of the players throwing up after doing such an intense training routine. But I reckon their fitness is going to be through the roof. They're probably going to be one of the best teams coming off of this pre-season. It's going to be hard to beat them so soon into the season. Whereas Southampton haven't really watched their pre-season, don't really know what they're about, but they've brought in some good players. Joe Aribo especially, one I'm looking forward to seeing in the Premier League. I wish we could have signed him, but alas. They brought in a keeper from League One. He doesn't really have any Championship or Prem experience, only League One experience, so I'm not sure how well that'll work out for them. It's going to be a tough opening match for the Saints, definitely. I'm going 4-1 Spurs. I reckon Joe Aribo might dance through the Spurs lines and get a goal back, but 4-1 Spurs, easy. And now we have Leeds United versus Wolverhampton Wanderers. Now both these teams last season had a bit of a wobble towards the end and really dipped down the table. Leeds especially as they flirted with relegation right until the final day. It was a very intense last couple of games for Leeds United fans, and Wolves really just dropped off about halfway through the season. They still have a quality squad. You know, they've got some great players like Ruben Neves, Pedro Neto, Hwang Hee-chan. If he really can start scoring goals this season, he'll be great for Wolves. But Ellen Road is not an easy place to go, so I'm reckon we'll see a 1-1 draw. to start off their campaigns. Everton versus Chelsea. Now this is the Lampard derby. You know, he's a club legend at Chelsea and the manager of Everton, saving them from relegation by the skin of his teeth. And last time Everton faced Chelsea, they needed the points and came away with a 1-0 win, which is very impressive. So if Everton can harness that spirit and that fight, I reckon they could do Chelsea again. Chelsea, you know, they haven't done that much business at the moment of recording this video, but they are linked with some very, very good players, and they brought in Sterling, who is a proven Premier League player. I don't think Everton have enough firepower to overturn Chelsea this season, especially with the signings Chelsea have made. I think they're going to be a tough side to break down by Everton. An interesting match to be sure, but I think Chelsea will win it 2-1 at Goodison. I can't see Everton beating Chelsea this time round. And now we move on to the Sunday matches. There's 3 of these and they feature some big clubs battling it out. The first match we'll take a look at is Leicester City versus Brentford. Now this is an interesting one, as Leicester have done no business this window and they could lose Maddison. I mean, they lost Schmeichel to a French side pretty recently as well. So they're not looking good. If they lose some of their quality players before the start of the season, this could be a really bad season for Leicester. Brentford have managed to keep hold of Ivan Toney, but they did lose Ericsson out to Manchester United. So they're not looking the hottest squad, but they have signed quite a few players actually. So they could be the signings the squad needs. You know, the training team behind Brentford are very, very good. Tom Frank is a great manager. I reckon it's a 1-1 draw, as Leicester still have quality in their side. Should they lose those players though, it won't be easy. And now we move on to Manchester United versus Brighton and Hove Albion. I think there could be a repeat of last season here. Last time the two sides faced, Brighton beat United 4-0 at the Amex. However, this match is at Old Trafford though, so it will be a much tougher match for Brighton, and they could lose Cucurella before the season starts to Chelsea, which would not be great for them. United will also be at home with their new manager, fired up, looking to prove a point to the Old Trafford faithful that they are there to contend for titles. However, I don't think they'll win the Prem. It will be a tough one for Brighton. It will be very tough. The United squad is starting to take shape. Ronaldo seemingly staying and Ericsson has been brought in, so it's going to be tough for Brighton. They did sign Dennis Undav though, and they've signed a couple more players whose names escape me at the moment, but they look exciting. Unfortunately, I can't see Brighton winning this game. I think it'll be 2-1 United. I don't think United will keep a clean sheet, but I can't see Brighton winning, especially at Old Trafford. And finally, we have West Ham United versus Manchester City. This was a big match last season. Man City looked like they could have lost their title to West Ham, but they managed to claw it back. But this could still be a tough one for City, as I said. They have brought in new additions since that match though, but that doesn't make this match any easier because West Ham have also brought in some good players. I don't think it'll be a huge goal fest at the London Stadium, but I can't see West Ham winning either. I think the quality of the City squad just eclipses that of the West Ham squad tenfold. Saying that, I do think City will go down first. I think it'll be 2-1 win for City, but they'll go down first before City really kick on and get into a rhythm. And I think Haaland will bag after that Community Shield performance because he wants to prove himself in the Prem, and this is the perfect game to do it. Those are my Premier League predictions for the first game week. If you have any predictions yourself and you want to leave them in the comments, please do. I'd love to see what you think. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how well I do in the coming season, because, you know, it's something new to me, something I'm still getting used to, comparing squads and stuff. My predictions for Forest last season were pretty solid, pretty on the money. So hopefully I've carried that through to the Premier League and all these other clubs. So that's my Premier League Game Week 1 predictions. I shall see you guys in the next video. Peace.